vessels with courage. At this moment, when you think about it, you were in the forefront of technology when you even started Damon Dash Studios. How did you know streaming was going to be a thing?
It was just logical, you know. Once I understood the internet, and, you know, to be honest, I was looking at the way the porn industry was moving, you know, because they had no other place to showcase their stuff. They were actually hitting the internet hard way before everyone else, on demand. And I just was like, yo, people are just gonna do that with movies. And I was always looking for one place to put everything that I did that people could just buy it from. So I've always made movies, I made clothes, I make music, I make liquor. So I was like, yo, it would just make sense to learn how to make my own content, because also it gives you residual income. And because I don't have to worry about distribution, because I can provide my own, it just made logical sense. You know, I'm always looking for a way, and I've always been as an independent, you're always looking for freedom. So, you know, I get up on things before everyone else because I'm always trying to figure out how to do it on my own. You understand what I'm saying? So I just shoot that shit 15 years ago. I mean, we did Block Savvy. You know, we always did it. But it really is about making the content, not making the apparatus. You have to have the bullets. Let somebody else build the gun.
So when you think about that, and you think about it, but there's a level of fearlessness that comes with every CEO. Forever you've been fearless. Why is it important at this moment, when you think of a Stokely, when you think of the thought leaders that are right behind you, why must we have this mindset at this moment in time as CEO, as we claim our victory in these movements?
Well, you know, for me, this mindset has always been present, and I've been waiting for everybody to catch up, to be honest. You know, people were looking at me like I was crazy for saying we're the boss, we should control the narrative. Why do we have to sell our culture back to them to sell it back to us? This was never logical. Why do you let weaker people tell you what to do? It's just not logical. Why do we fight each other and not them? It's not logical. Why do we think they're the plug and we're not? It just was never logical to me. So I'm glad that right now at this very moment, because the world has ended and there's a new one, and the one that existed before did not behoove us. So if we're gonna come out in a new world, it's important to come out controlling the narrative, not asking questions, but having the answers. Not asking for someone to give you something, but being the person that's able to give. You know, that has to be the narrative, you know? And we're in control at this moment. The only thing that's stopping us would only be us right now. Anybody in this moment could get money from their house if they have content and they know how to distribute it, bottle it up, package it, and do it right. We don't need them to talk to each other. We shouldn't be fighting each other for their entertainment. You know, we shouldn't have to go through a white production company to tell a black story. Why is it that the networks only hire the white production companies to tell black stories? Like an E1, you know, a Tara Reid, you know what I mean? Like a We Channel. Why, you know, like besides, you know, Kanye and myself right now, we the only ones that really be calling people out that are white. You know what I mean? We don't fight each other, we fight them. That narrative has to change, and that's what this is about right now. And not violently, it has to be about economically. You know, we control the buyer's market, so why shouldn't we be the one providing it to the buyer, which is us? It makes no sense not to.
Well, you think about it, our dear brother Master P, who's actually being recognized, kind of came around saying similar things, but the product, we've got to produce products. Why is it important for us to produce products for those who have no understanding? Content, product, you said, look here, obviously, why are products important for CEOs, black CEOs, to be making for our community?
Making something means you have something to sell. So, you know, let's say you're a hustler. If the block is clicking and you don't have any work on your block, they're going someplace else to get it. So you have to have this work. But the good part about content is it gives you residual income. You can leverage residual income. You can get a loan against your income if it's consistent. And you can get that money like this. I make money from things that I did before I had the platinum hair. You know, I make money off things I did in my 20s. I'm 49, I'm about to be 50. But back then I had present clarity to say it makes no sense to do something and not own it and let other people make money from it years later and not me. It just never made sense to me. I don't care what everybody's doing. If it's not logical, I'm not doing it. A CEO has to deal with logic, not emotion. The dollars have to make sense, period. You know, ego comes with it at some point because you have to sell a lifestyle. You have to be confident, but you can't just do what makes you feel good if it doesn't yield. You can't do what doesn't, you can't just take a short bag from somebody from another culture and fire all your people from the culture and be selfish just because you don't think you could do it without them. White ice is not colder.
So when you think about the love that we have for each other in this movement, what would you say? You're sitting on the board. What do we need to understand about self-destruction, self-love, self-pride, community pride, and trust?
I mean, all of it. You know, number one, and, you know, I look and break things down from the beginning. Why do we have this narrative? Well, number one, the day we're born, we're told that God is white. We interpret the name of God as Jesus, and that's a European translation. The name is Joshua. So now we have us as a culture looking at a Viking, a white man with blue eyes and blonde hair, even though nothing in the Bible happened in Africa. That's number one. That's number one. And even though we're aware that that's the wrong name, we still say it. We're still scared not to say. And what people have to understand is, like, my name is Damien. Somebody could be giving me props, but if they call me Damien, I'm gonna be like, yo, my name is Damien. And if they keep calling me Damien, I'm gonna think it's on purpose, and I'm gonna be feeling a little disrespected, even though they're giving me props. So imagine if you're calling God the wrong name all this time. You can't get your full blessing. That's number one. Number two is the education. When I go into schools, I see that they look familiar and similar to prisons. It doesn't make sense to me to take children from their parents and have them come around people they don't know that are mediocre. Not to say that there's anything with teachers, but they have a 9 to 5. How is somebody going to teach somebody how to be rich if they're not rich? And then the education that's taught, it's not farming. It's not how to be an entrepreneur, pay taxes. It's not how to pass a law. And your other alternative to get out of a social class, and you're told this, is the only way to get out of the social class is to do sports or to do music. And then what does the school provide for you? Sports. So that you don't focus on school and get your fundamentals. You bet your whole life in basketball. When you get an injury, because there's lotto to get there, now you're not prepared. That seems strategic.
If you want another amazing video with the one and only Dame Dash, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.